saying, quote, "He's the most misunderstood person in all of sports. He dope as bleep. He is a cool dude." LeVar, should Cam and Belichick reunite for a redemption season?
Hey, reunite and it feels so good. Reunited just like I knew they should. Yes, they should reunite, and I've been saying this, so I'm going to double down on it and say it again today. The reason why they should double down is familiarity. The reason why they should double down is opportunity. We look at Cam, and people are so committed to saying that Cam has no more toothpaste in the tube. I don't see it that way. I see it as, okay, Cam did work hard on the offseason to try to get himself together and be ready for the season. But Cam was working to get on a team. Cam was not working being a part of a team and having a real offseason in terms of growing and building a part of a team. He's built a foundation. Whether people want to like it or not, Cam has built a foundation in New England. New England has some pieces and some holes that they needed to fill, and no one knows that better than Bill Belichick, all right? So when I look at the situation with Cam, give him an opportunity to come back, have a real offseason, have real preparation. He gets to learn more of the playbook. I don't know how much of the playbook he used this season, but it probably wasn't as much as it could have been. Why? Because of the time commitment that was there, or the lack of time, I should say. So for me, I look at Cam. That translation of what he's saying is, I love Bill Belichick. I want to go back and play for Bill Belichick. I want to have an opportunity to do better for Bill Belichick. Whether that ends up being a starting role or a fill-in, a sub role, that can be determined on the field. But I think that this is a good marriage, and I think that you can get great results from it moving forward into year two versus what had to be rushed and crammed in year one.
Well, LeVar, I'm still thinking that Cam is thinking starting role. Now, he may have to adjust his mindset to accept being a backup. I'm surprised you brought up that possibility with New England. But I'm thinking of him right now. He wants to go somewhere and start. And I'm going to look at it from both sides. From Cam's side, of course he wants to go back to New England because, let's face it, that might be his only option. Let's not forget that a year ago, before he even had this subpar season, nobody was interested in him. That's why New England got him for so cheap. That's why they got him so late. All right, so Cam may not have another option but to go back to Belichick. And so for him, yes, let's run it back by all means. And I do think he genuinely liked Bill Belichick. I think Belichick genuinely liked Cam. And I do think there are things you can point to, LeVar, that would suggest maybe Cam can be a little better. I said yesterday, I don't think he's going to prove doubters wrong. I don't think he's going to have a Pro Bowl season, anything like that. But could he be a little bit better? Sure, if they get some more weapons, because they gave him no weapons at the skill position, just like they didn't for Tom Brady the year before. So if they want to shore up their weapons, that would help Cam. We know that was Tom Brady's offense. And sure, they adjusted it a bit to Cam, more runs for the quarterback, certainly in the red zone, things like that. But it still wasn't fully based around Cam Newton. It still was a new offense for him to adjust to. And as you said, he really had no offseason preparation. The other thing is COVID. Remember, before he came down with COVID, they were 2-1. They had beat the Raiders. They had beat the Dolphins. Those are two pretty good teams. And they had barely lost to Seattle in a game that they very easily could have won.
One play.
So they may have been 3-0 before Cam got COVID. And then that, he missed a few weeks. You don't know how that may have affected him even for a couple of weeks when he came back. So I do think there's things, if you're Cam Newton, that you're thinking about and saying, if I just get these things right, then I can come back and have a much better season. And New England can look at that too. But from their perspective, I don't know if he's going to be available. Obviously, you hear rumors and reports and all of this stuff being talked about. But if they could get Jimmy Garoppolo, that would be my first move if I'm the Patriots, over bringing back a Cam Newton, because I think Jimmy G is a guy they could see as their quarterback for the next 5+ years. And so I think that's an option I would have ahead of Cam if I could get him. Then could you draft a Mac Jones? We heard Devontae Smith, the Heisman Trophy winner, say Mac Jones is better than Tua yesterday. June Jones, a former NFL coach, has said Mac Jones is the best quarterback in the draft, in his opinion. Now, that may sound like foolishness, and it may very well be.
That
I'm just saying,
foolishness.
Mac Jones is a guy that...
You can't hold. Come on. Come on.
I'm with you. I'm not saying Mac Jones is the best quarterback in the draft, but all I'm saying is he is a guy that people think could be a quarterback in the NFL. He does have many of the attributes that Belichick would like. He's smart. He's crafty. He's accurate. He's got a solid arm, not an elite arm, but a good arm. And so I'm just saying, look, and if you draft Mac Jones, maybe you bring back Cam to start for another year as Jones learns. So there are a lot of options for them to look at. Essentially what I'm saying is if I'm Cam, yes, I want to go back to New England. That's his best option. If I'm New England, there are one or two other options I'd rather look at first. And if I can't get those done, then I'm bringing back Cam.
Yeah, you know, you guys keep, and I like Cam Newton. I need to preface all this by saying I'm a big fan. You know what that means.
Oh, no.
I defended Cam here on the show yesterday.
Right.
I'm just like to point out that every time you guys mention how good he was last year, it was in September, early in the season. After that, he was shot. And this is a guy who had shoulder surgery twice. Rotator cuff, throwing shoulder in 2017 and 2019. He's just not the same guy. Is he capable of throwing downfield? I don't know, because Belichick didn't have him throwing downfield, because it didn't look like that was in his repertoire at this stage in his game. Again, Cam was used basically as a battering ram last year, guys. If you really watch a Patriots, it was a lot of RPOs, a lot of Cam, bail us out with your legs. You know, he did that against the Cardinals with a nice win. But unfortunately, I don't think he's even an option at this stage for the Patriots. Think about it from this level, LeVar, okay? Bill Belichick just watched his former quarterback, Tom Brady, win a Super Bowl, okay? Now it's proved that, well, Brady can win without Belichick. Can Belichick win without Brady? He tried Cam Newton. It did not work. They did not make the playoffs. If Bill Belichick is looking around the league saying, damn it, Brady just got a Super Bowl, can Cam Newton put me in position to win a Super Bowl? And I think the answer unequivocally is no. And I think you mentioned the name. Jimmy Garoppolo has got to be the guy that Bill Belichick has circled. He drafted him. He molded him. And then the Brady stuff kind of forced Garoppolo out of town. I think Belichick is looking for a quarterback that can get him to the playoffs and the Super Bowl. And unfortunately, Cam is not that guy. And this is not a knock on him. He had a great career. He's a talented winner. I think he could be a serviceable backup for a Buffalo Bills situation with Josh Allen or Kansas City. I'd love to see Cam get a ring, but he ain't going to do it as a starting quarterback in the NFL.
I just think it's crazy. Because here's my thing. When you look at Tom Brady and Tom Brady leaving New England, and I'm Bill Belichick, and I'm like, man, Tom just got a Super Bowl. Look at Tom Brady's team. I'm going to let that sizzle and sink into your spirit for a little bit. Yeah, they were that
Hold on,
good.
LeVar.
They were that good, Chris. Go ahead.
LeVar.
Yes.
That team was 7-9 a year ago.
That
team hadn't made the playoffs in 12, 13 years.
That team is one of the most talented teams from personnel-wise from top to bottom. And you just made my point. The coach has to be able to get everything clicking on the right page. So by him bringing in Tom Brady, he felt as though that was one of the last pieces missing. Bringing in Leonard Fournette was one of the last pieces missing. Bringing in Gronk was one of the last pieces missing to this Tampa Bay team taking that next step. Just because their record said that they weren't an elite team record-wise did not say that they're not an elite team personnel-wise. And sometimes you got to see the difference between the two. When I look at this New England Patriots team, they are not an elite team personnel-wise. In fact, they lost several elite players due to opting out. They lost several or more elite players due to injuries, including Cam. I look at this New England team, and I am not going to put on Mac Brown or